Hi, this is Concita with Great Shape Fit Club, and I'm coming to you with Maria Hall, another fabulous Fit Club transformation story. And this lady is so inspiring. I'm very, very proud of all that she has accomplished and continues to accomplish. And so we're going to sit down and talk with her so that you can get some tips and tricks and learn from a pro. Hello, Maria.
Hello, Concita.
So, Maria, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Maria Hall?
Maria Hall is a quilter, a motorcycle rider, a mother of two daughters, a gardener. I like to get involved in lots of different things in life. And most of my life I've been an active person until the last couple of years.
Okay. So you have a lot going on. It doesn't sound like you're sitting home twiddling your thumbs at all.
No.
So tell us about this period of inactivity and how you came out of that. We can all identify.
I thought, you know what, I must have a thyroid problem because I went vegetarian, which I learned from you is actually I was a carbitarian.
Right.
And and so I thought, well, I was walking to pick my daughter up from school. I was going swimming with her at the pool, so I was getting exercise and I was eating all vegetables, so it must be a thyroid problem. And I went to the doctor and he said my thyroid was normal. So that told me that it was all me, what I was putting in my mouth and what I wasn't doing with my body.
Okay, awesome. So you took action, obviously. So where did that lead you, that discovery? Because so many women think that it must be hormones.
Yeah.
And so many women, which is good to get checked out. You want to, because there are real hormonal issues. But that's usually not the starting point. So when you found out that there was nothing wrong with you,
there wasn't any
no
of that.
pill that was going to fix it.
I had no excuses anymore, and so I decided I needed to step up the physical activity I was doing, and that's when I joined Fit Club and started doing the Metabolism Mania in the mornings. And some of the ladies at the group that I work with in Highland Village said that they'd done a gene drop challenge and it was awesome and it really worked. And I thought, well, it's worth a try. And you had a gene drop challenge come up, so I signed up at the last minute to make sure that I could reap the benefits of whatever may be to come.
Awesome. So this video is actually long overdue. You're actually 2 challenges down and we're just making this video. Shame on me. But so tell us a little bit about your gene drop experience. Those who have been following our blog and our Facebook know that you dropped way more than the gene size, but
I did.
Share a little bit about your experience, where you started, if you don't mind saying your gene size or just how many you dropped and what that experience was like.
When I joined Fit Club, I was in an 18W, and I think when I started the challenge, I'd just gotten over the flu, so I was down to a 16W, which we know the W gives you a little more of that midsection room. So when I signed up, I decided I am going to commit 100% to this and do whatever you or any of the trainers or coaches told me I needed to do. And the first challenge being a gallon of water a day, I really made it a point to make that happen and show up to any training that I was able to go to, and that's how I started out. And then along the way I learned more things, and I learned not only to show up to class, but the harder I work, the more benefit I get out of it.
Yeah.
And I ended up in I think the last pair was a size 12.
Yeah, and not a 12W.
No.
No extra room in the middle.
No. And those jeans are loose now, so I'm really happy.
Right. And that challenge was an 8-week challenge.
8 weeks.
So in 8 weeks you went from
Significant change.
right to 16 to 12, right? So that was a lot in that one gene drop challenge. So those of us who were inside the challenge know you as Militant Maria. And you were like the drill sergeant of the group. Tell us a little bit about, first tell us a little bit about the changes you made to your nutrition, your diet, your exercise, but then please tell us about your motivation because it is inspiring even to me. So
thank you. My motivation was that I hurt all the time. It hurt to get out of bed. It hurt to walk around. My joints hurt. I felt kind of nauseous, and I knew that anytime I got real heavy, that's how I felt, and I didn't want to feel sick anymore. Just being. It was a horrible way to live. So I knew that I had to mentally just engage and commit and not give myself the opportunity to have any excuse not to show up or not to try. And any challenge you put before us, I made it a point to make that my personal challenge every day. And so my eating habits changed and went from carbitarian to stop buying chips at the store, stop buying crackers and packaged, sweet potato chips are not sweet potatoes. So, yeah, and so I just found different ways to, I did the co-op Bountiful Baskets sometimes to get huge amounts of produce in my house, started just roasting vegetables, making salads for lunch every single day. And I got myself into a routine where I put protein powder in my coffee in the morning. I'd eat my banana post-workout. I'd have a morning snack. I'd have my huge salad for lunch. I'd have an afternoon snack. And if I got hungry, I ate, because I knew that when I came to work out, you or Dusty or Lauren would push me. And even you saying after the last challenge, you can up your calorie intake, but you need to push it that much harder at workouts. That's what I tell myself during the workout, that if I just push a little bit harder, if I just go up one more weight with what I'm lifting, then I'm going to burn that much more and get that much stronger. And so initially it started out with telling myself I just had to show up every day. No excuses. Because once I had any excuse to not show up, next time it would be that much easier to make another excuse. And then once I got myself showing up every time, then I just pushed myself to just work a little bit harder. And I think that really helped me push through.
Yeah, and work a little bit harder, you really, really did. So for any vegetarian ladies that may be watching this interview, and Fit Club is growing by leaps and bounds at vegetarian members, and I'm so thankful, honestly, that you are as disciplined as you were, because I have you as my vegetarian example to say, really, these changes work, and being vegetarian and not eating meat, that's not an excuse to not be able to transform. So let's talk about the one big nutrition change that had to happen with you, besides the carb stuff, besides becoming a real vegetarian, eating vegetables and not carbs all the time, the one nutrition switch, and how you actually managed to do that with the protein. Let's talk about that.
You need eating more?
Yes.
Yes, eating more protein. What I had to learn was that I eat tofu, and I've read articles, some that you forwarded, about eating non-fermented tofu and the health issues with that. I was eating a lot of vegetarian packaged foods. And now I'm to the point I rarely eat those. I've rediscovered tempeh. I do eat a little cheese, but no eggs, no fish, no chicken, no anything with eyes, I guess, as they say. So I really had to focus on foods that have protein in them, and then watch how my carbs and fat complemented that. But really my focus was just, how do I get in enough protein? And then everything else sort of fell into place. So I balanced nuts with some cheese and protein powder, the tempeh, and then making sure I had beans in my salad, and some nuts in there. So when I just focused on getting enough protein, I can still get 100 grams of protein without eggs or anything. And it's not always what I want to eat, but
but you're a great cook and you make it taste good.
I do.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the big one, and not even just for vegetarians. With ladies, period, getting enough protein and getting off of the frankenfoods, as I call them. Everything in a box has been manufactured, food that's been manufactured and not grown. So, good. So, you did great in the Jean Drop Challenge. You dropped jean sizes. I mean, the first 2 weeks, crazy. You dropped 2 jean sizes, and you kept doing that. I mean, dropped a jean size in 2 weeks, and you kept doing that. That was fun. And then the challenge was over. So how did you deal with post-challenge life? So between challenges, let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think it was sort of a blessing that the between challenge time was over the holiday, because then you had the the holiday survival, and I was kind of scared, thinking that I was held to this standard because I held myself to the standard, and now I was free to partake of some wine any night of the week, or I wasn't going to have any measurements or check-in. So I think I pushed myself harder to maintain the principles I learned and keep using them. And throughout the holiday, that I think just edified all of those habits. So there was a week during the Christmas time frame where I ate some chocolates, I drank some creamy liqueur, I had some rich foods with the family. But as soon as that was done and I got back in town, I went straight back to metabolism mania and my workouts and my routine so that I could get the few extra little pounds I might have put on back off.
Yep.
So it was really maintaining those habits. And I found the same thing since the last challenge. With that last weekend, my husband and I went to New Orleans and had a little extra fun. And when we got home, I got right back into my habits.
Awesome. That's amazing, because we'll talk more about that. I'm going to fast forward to this challenge, but we're going to get back to that because that's one that people need to hear more about, and I would just love to hear you talk more about that too. But so the challenge was over. We had a little mini challenge, holiday survival, a lot less strenuous, just little goals to keep everyone from going haywire over the holiday. It worked. And we came back in and the new year started and there was another challenge, and that wasn't by mistake. And you ended up one of the finalists in that challenge. Tell me how your experience was this time. You were already an old pro. You knew what to eat. You knew how to exercise. So how did that make this experience different?
It was different because I went in knowing I was in better shape. Knowing that I couldn't make the transformation from being couch potato with horrible eating habits to fit and eating well. I was already fit and eating well to a degree, and now I just wanted to get fitter.
Yes.
So I knew that I had to really rein in any little bad habits, make sure I worked that much harder at my workouts, make sure I got my cardio in on my off days. But I still had the mental focus that I signed up for this, I want to win. Yep. That was my goal from the start. And even if I didn't win, in the end I did, because I got more fit. I lost some weight, I lost some inches.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was the 9-week challenge. What were your results like for that one, and how were they different than the first one, and how did you deal with that?
The funny thing is I lost about the same amount of weight, about 12 pounds. But the first challenge, the pictures are significantly different, whereas the second challenge, they don't look as different to me, but there's still a significant change. And I can see on my body where the changes are different. But I forgot what the question was.
So how did you deal with that?
Edit that out.
How did you deal with that? Because there was a point in the challenge where I got this email that said, "Hey, coach, what do I need to be doing? I don't know if I'm transforming." Because
my transformation was so significant all the way through the first challenge, I thought, I'm not seeing that kind of result. What am I doing wrong? And I was being too critical of myself. I was having changes, and they were apparent on my check-in sheet, on my measurement sheet that I was taking every week. So I think I wanted to see the same speed of results, the same difference in my body shape, and I think the closer you get to your goal, it's probably harder to see that kind of drastic results in a short amount of time.
Without introducing the crazy stuff, right? Because the whole point of these challenges are to learn habits that you can maintain, so that you can maintain the body. And I think my words to you in my reply email were, "Maria, I have a bag of tricks up my sleeve. However, your progress is going at a very good rate.
Yes.
And if you are not progressing, there'll be a plateau that we need to bust, but there's no plateau. And we're not going to just start throwing stuff out of the bag of tricks in order to make things go really, really, really super fast, because then what? So you get there faster, but you got there, I don't want to say the wrong way, but in a very aggressive way. And the more you force the body rather than encourage it, the harder it fights you back. So when you get there, it's going to be heck to maintain. So we're not speeding this up. And we made a tiny little tweak to some of your cardio. And I got a, oh no, email after you did your sprints for the first time. And the results kept going.
Yes.
So, but you stayed very encouraged, and you took that advice, and you didn't go, throwing paint on the wall, and it worked out very well for you.
I agree.
Awesome. Well, the last thing I want you to talk about just a little bit, because I think everybody would benefit from this, is I happen to know that a lot of times when people start transformations, they go crazy. They go full throttle, like they never even sniff a piece of bread. They everything that they enjoy, they cut out because they're so focused on getting there. And they think when they get there, life is going to be better. They're going to be so happy, and then they can enjoy everything. And we know kind of how that ends. Usually they burn out before they get there, or they get there and rebound very badly. However, you had an impressive balance the whole way through both challenges. Tell us about date night.
Oh, date night is every Thursday. And my husband and I usually go to a Mexican restaurant and eat chips and salsa. And we just try not to go over one basket of chips together. And then we share a quesadilla, or I have a big salad with salsas, dressing, and avocado on it. And I drink wine or beer. I chose to not drink margaritas, and I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I'm cutting out because it's so sugary.
Mm-hmm.
Once I went back to trying one, I didn't like it anymore. And same with the queso. We cut it out for a while, and then one day we said, let's have some queso. We had the queso, and it tasted too salty. So I didn't cut out my splurges because I knew I've tried that before. I'm gung-ho, and then I fall completely off the wagon, and then I made no progress. My habits are back to where they were. So I thought if I just make small changes along the way and continue to allow myself that splurge, then the next day I say, wow, I really splurged. I better get back on the wagon. And we even had, at the end of the Gene Drop Challenge, the weekend in Galveston for the motorcycle rally.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a lot of beer drinking and a lot of restaurant eating. I mean, I brought tofu cubes with me that I baked. I brought lots of nuts. I brought protein powder. But there's only so much you can bring with. And then I had to eat salads at the restaurants and just find things that weren't fried to eat at the restaurant. And I really ended up, I don't think it set me back at all in that challenge.
No, you dropped another gene size that last 2 weeks. I have pictures in case you're wondering if you were set back. You were not.
So I made it a point to let myself, if I needed a splurge, to let myself have a splurge. And I did have one point, too, I wanted to mention in this last challenge where I am working through some things with my therapist. And I had a half to, 4 days where I was depressed. And I didn't want to get out of bed. I did not want to work out or socialize. I did not want to eat anything but comfort food. And I knew, though, I didn't want to be a victim either. I knew that maybe if I tried eating healthy, I would feel better. If I tried working out, I would feel better. And I actually had to go back to my therapist and work and do some work. But at the end of that week, I didn't have great results. But it would have been worse if I just let myself go completely. And secondly, it was very important to me to acknowledge that I had a bad week and it's okay, and to get back on the wagon for the rest of the challenge. And I think allowing myself to have that mini little failure and just get over it and not let that define the challenge for me was really important.
It was impressive. I remember that week. And that's why I wanted to talk about just motivation and your mental strategies, because it's pretty amazing. Well, Maria, thank you for your time. What can we expect from Maria next?
Oh,
Are you at goal?
No,
What's
I'm
next?
not at goal.
What are you going to do?
I'm fitting into jeans that didn't used to. Well, I haven't ever worn this shirt, so. But I think I want to say I have 20 pounds to go, but I'm not sure because my body is in a place that I fit into things I used to fit into 3 years ago when I was 10 pounds lighter, and my body looks different. It looks better. So I don't know what that final weight will be, but I like the way I'm getting there. It's sort of slow, but I also know that I have all the right habits in place, and if I just keep following those habits, my body will get to where I want it to be.
Absolutely will. Well, awesome. Thank you for the interview. I'm
You're
sure
welcome.
we may end up with questions on this one because you shared a lot of nuggets. I'm probably going to break it into 2 parts, but that was Maria, another Fabulous Fit Club transformation. Thanks for watching.